Welcome everybody to the April 10th Gaming Advisory Commission. This is our third session. Reminder that this commission was created by ordinance and the appointees are as follows. I'm the chairman per ordinance as being the chief of staff. And then Mayor Tom has 5 appointees. Tom Dabberton from the 1st District, Andrew Edwards from the 2nd District, Lori Zonal from the 3rd District, Darlene Flores from the 5th District, Sharon Zaney from the 6th District. And then the council appointees are Councilwoman Katrina Alexander, Councilwoman Janet Venez, Council President Scott Rakos, Member Melissa Farrell, and Member Leslie Miller. Why don't we start with roll call?
Alexander.
Present.
Zulno.
Present.
Dabberton.
Present.
Edwards.
Present.
Farrell.
Present.
Flores. Miller.
Present.
Rakos.
Here.
Zaney. Venez.
Here.
Talon.
Here. I believe we have 9 approved and 2 absent. For everyone at home, this is our third session. We had an amount this year of $421,686.71. As long as we are very close to that number, we can have a motion to approve. Last year we had $523,000, so it was a little less this year. We had additional applications and there was much more money requested. So keep that in mind with a lot of the organizations that submitted applications. A lot of times we do have to approve a lesser amount for that reason. We're hoping to finish up today if we can get our final approval done for the remainder of the organizations. We left off last meeting with putting a hold on the School City of Hammond Secondary Applied Skills Vocational Internships and Community Programs, so we're going to go back to that. They made a request for $35,050, and they talk about as the primary purpose of their funding to have community-based programs for students that need, specifically that have financial support issues. So with that, do we have a recommendation for this organization?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I recommend we approve $500.
We have a recommendation for 500. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Are we all in agreement? Okay, we will mark them for $500. Next is the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. They made a request for $2,000. The primary services they offer are food and financial assistance for utilities and housing and unmet needs. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I'll recommend $1,000.
We have a recommendation of 1,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
We will mark them for $1,000. Very good. Next, we have South Shore Arts. They have an application request of $10,000. I know a lot of us are familiar with some of the services and programs that South Shore Arts offers. They're in downtown Hammond in the South Shore Arts building. And they have a lot of program, and I see a lot of activity there on weekends with students and children utilizing their services. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend 5,000.
We have a recommendation for 5,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We will mark them down for 5,000. Next, we have Spark Success, Inc. They have an application amount for $18,800. The purpose of their funding is materials for their students to utilize to complete projects. They talk about several different other activities that they're offering, including teaching kids welding and different activities like that. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. President, I recommend we pass because they did not meet the requirement of 501c3.
So if they are not a 501c3, we have a recommendation to pass. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. We will pass on Spark. Next is St. John Bosco School. They have an application amount for $33,250. The purpose of their funding is, looks like they're looking for dollars for different activities that they're hosting at their school. It talks about encouraging students to reach their potential and be productive citizens. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would recommend 5,000.
We have a recommendation for 5,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do 5,000, which I think has been consistent with some of the other churches and schools that we've looked at. Next, we have the St. Mary Byzantine Church. They have a request amount for $28,000. The primary purpose of their request is for construction of a memorial commemorating the consecration of the cemetery by Metropolitan Archbishop Andrei Sheptytsky, probably saying that wrong. And there's a lot more information that they give. Do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend $5,000.
Recommendation for 5,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Okay, we will mark them for 5,000. Next is the Gatehouse Hammond. They have a request for $30,000. The primary purpose of their funding is to help women that have addictions and need housing services. They do have several women that are already in Hammond in at another address, which obviously we'll be discreet about. So they're looking for some additional space because they obviously have a bigger demand. Do we have a recommendation?
Yeah, Mr. President, I
Yeah.
recommend 5,000.
We have a recommendation for 5,000,
Second.
and we have a second. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll mark them for 5,000. Next is Salvation Army of Northwest Indiana, Hammond, Munster. They have a request for $5,000. They're looking for the dollars to help with a food pantry grant. It also talks about the cost of attending school each fall can be very expensive for families who are struggling to make ends meet. With that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I recommend that we pass on this due to their location in Munster.
So we have a recommendation to pass. They are located in Munster. Are we all in agreement in that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we will mark them down as a pass. Next is the Welcome Network. They have a application request of $16,199.16. They use these funds. The primary purpose is to expand legal services, to provide services to more Hammond immigrant households. Do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend that we pass and that we refer them to Hammond Legal Aid.
So we have a recommendation to pass and have them go to the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic, which also offers similar services. Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll mark them as a pass. Next, we have the Toll Theater. They have a request for $50,000. Primary purpose of their funding is for events and plays that they offer at their theater in downtown Hammond. They've been operating for a very long time, even throughout the COVID pandemic. They kept operating shortly after. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would recommend giving
We have a recommendation of $20,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
We will mark them down for $20,000. Next, we have the Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church. They have a request for $2,000. The primary purpose is we're doing their trunk or treat and Easter egg hunt and more. And they give a lot more narrative as to what they use the funds for. With that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. President, I would recommend the $2,000.
Recommendation for 2,000. We have a second.
Second.
We're all in agreement. We will mark them for 2,000. United Way of Northwest Indiana, they have a request for $25,000. I have to abstain from discussing any amounts since I am a board member for United Way. I believe a lot of us are familiar with the services that United Way offers in a lot of different programs. With that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend that we pass simply because of limited funds, and they do have other resources.
Recommendation to pass, so then they could use other resources, and our funds are limited. Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll mark that. United Citizens Association Incorporated, we have a application request of $7,000. The primary purpose of their funds is they work to protect our environment, especially near the George Lake area. They also work to improve the aesthetics of the Robertsdale community. And most of that is done, or actually all of that is done through volunteer work. And there's also more information given on what they do. Do we have a recommendation?
Mr.
Chairman, I recommend 7,000.
Recommendation of 7,000. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
All right, we'll mark them down for 7,000. We Care from the Heart Social Services. They have an application request of $35,000. The primary purpose of their funds be used to assist our city's homeless population and those who are at risk of becoming homeless with services and tangible items that they need. I know that the City of Hammond Community Development Department also has given funds to this organization as well. With that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would recommend $5,000.
Second.
Recommendation for 5,000 and a second. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Whiting Hammond Knights of Columbus, Columbian Club. We have a application request amount of $9,000. They use these funds for their pierogi drop, which also, we've been told by Mr. Dabberton, they also use that as a fundraising opportunity as well. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would recommend $5,000.
Recommendation of 5,000. We have a second?
Second.
We all in agreement? Okay, we'll mark them down for 5,000. Next is the Whiting Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce. They have a application request amount of $15,000. Mr. Dabberton will be abstaining from voting on this as he is a member of that organization. I think we're all familiar with what the Whiting Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce primary purposes are. So with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I recommend $10,000 for the Whiting Rapids Chamber of Commerce.
We have a recommendation of 10,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
We all in agreement? Okay, we will mark them down for 10,000. And Tom Dabberton abstained. Next is the Whiting Robertsdale Historical Society. They have a request for $10,000. The primary services or purpose of their funds, they're looking to open a new museum in 2024 on 119th Street called the History Center of Whiting Robertsdale, and they've been raising funds to properly equip the new building. They expect to buy new computers, desks for their office and work area, as well as work tables and shelving. There's also a lot more information on the request. But with that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for $2,500.
Recommendation for 2,500. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are we all in agreement? All right, we'll mark them down for 2,500. Next is Leon's Triathlon. They have a request for $15,000. I think most of us are familiar with Leon's Triathlon and that they host every year at Wolf Lake in the Robertsdale area. With that, do we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, based on funds available, I would recommend $10,000.
So we have a recommendation of $10,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
We all in agreement? All right, we will mark them down for 10,000. Lastly, we have the Department of Defense Honor Guard. They put a request in for somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. The Honor Guard, the purpose of these funds is for providing military honors. He said donations such as yours are accepted and used to provide uniforms for new members, weapons maintenance, ammunition, which is blanks, and a quarterly gas allowance to members based on their participation. And with that, do we have a recommendation?
Chairman, I recommend 5,000.
Recommendation of 5,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in agreement?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the last application. We do have a few that we need to revisit that we talked about at previous sessions. So we revisited several applications in the work study session. I won't pull out each application, see if I can find each one that we revisited. We revisited the Fountain of Youth Adult Day Center. They had a request amount for $313,250, and I spoke about their purpose at a previous meeting. Do we have a recommendation?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman? Recommending $5,000 at this time.
We have a recommendation for $5,000 and a second. All in agreement?
Yes.
Okay. I put an asterisk next to Girls on the Run of Northwest Indiana. Did we already approve that one? Or did we do that in our revisit session?
Part of the sports.
We did initial 5,000.
Ah, gotcha, okay.
5,000.
Yep. Okay,
Mr.
I'm trying to do
Chairman?
the ones that are not sports related at the moment. I think there might have been, okay.
Hammond Education.
Hammond Education Foundation made a request for $35,000. We spoke about their purpose at a previous session. Do we have a recommendation?
I abstain.
Oh, and Councilwoman Alexander abstaining. She is a member of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll recommend 10,000.
Recommendation 10,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in agreement?
Yes.
All right, we will mark them down for 10,000. Looking for next, that is not sports related.
Hammond Parks Foundation.
Hammond Parks Foundation. This is one we spoke at a previous session. I did follow up with Devin, who also works for the city, but he is I believe he's the president of the Parks Foundation. They do meet once a month, and he did put a request in for $25,000. And I spoke to Devin, and what we're going to do is look for other opportunities for them as opposed to the Gaming Advisory Commission, since it's very closely related to city services. So we'll pass on that for now, and I will talk to Devin about other opportunities. Okay. And the last,
Health Vision West.
Health Visions Midwest, Inc. They put a request in for $12,000. We spoke at a previous meeting about their purpose. Do we have a new recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I'll recommend that we pass their new application, just given limitations on funds.
Recommendation to pass, are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Okay. I believe that's the last one that is not sports related. With that, we believe we had approximately 16 applications that were sports related. And as we spoke about at the first session, we wanted to look about how much we had remaining, and we had approximately $80,000, which gave us the opportunity to offer $5,000 to the sports-oriented applications unless they asked for less. So I'll quickly go through so everybody's aware. Four Quarters for Life Community Organization would get $5,000. Girls on the Run would get $5,000. Hammond Boxing Club would get $5,000. Hammond Central High School Baseball Team, $5,000. Hammond Central High School Boys Girls Golf would get $5,000. Hammond Central Softball Team would get $5,000. Hammond Central Wolves football team would get 5,000. Hammond Hermits would get 5,000. Hammond Hurricanes for 5,000. The Hammond Morton High School football program would get their application request amount of 4,000. Hammond Optimist Youth Sports, 5,000. Hammond Redhawks Youth Football and Cheer, 5,000. Hessville Little League, 5,000. Lakeshore Cal Ripken Babe Ruth, 5,000. Morton High School Boys Golf, 5,000. Northwest Indiana Rugby Club, 5,000. Region Renegades, 5,000. So I think that concludes all the sports organizations. With that, Alex, do we have a total amount?
Yes, the total that I got was $427,600. And then Councilwoman Katrina Alexander also did the math and we matched, so.
Very good. So we have a total right now of 427,600, very close to the amount of 421,686.71. We've spoken to the mayor, and he said if it was in the same realm of what we had available, he would be happy to offer a few extra dollars to even us out. So with that, we have made a recommendation and had commission approval or decision to pass on every organization that has submitted an application. At this point in time, I'm going to go through each organization, and the amount was approved per our commission and through work study sessions. And then at the end, I'll look for somebody to motion to pass the numbers and dollar amounts and organizations that I'm about to give. And we will then do a roll call vote and finalize this process. Does anybody have any questions before I begin? Okay. So I will be looking for a motion to approve for Four Quarters for Life Community Organization, $5,000. American Veterans Collection, Inc., $3,000. Association for the Wolf Lake Initiative, $600. Bishop Knoll Institute, $5,000. Books, Brushes, and Bands, $10,000. Cash Charity, $3,000. Challenger Learning Center of Northwest Indiana, $10,000. Christ Lutheran Church, $5,000. Community Center Development Corporation Ophelia Steen Center, $10,000. Community Services of Northwest Indiana, Greater Hammond Community Services, $10,000. Excel Youth Programs, Inc., $5,000. Family and Friends of Northwest Indiana, Inc., $10,000. Firefighters Monument Corp. of Hammond, $3,000. Fountain of Youth Adult Day Center, $5,000. Girls on the Run of Northwest Indiana, $5,000. Hammond Boxing Club, $5,000. Hammond Central High School Baseball Team, $5,000. Hammond Central High School Boys Girls Golf, $5,000. Hammond Central Softball Team, $5,000. Hammond Central Wolves Football Team, $5,000. Hammond Community Theater, $5,000. Hammond Community Watch, $10,000. Hammond Education Foundation, $10,000. Hammond Hermits, $5,000. Hammond Hispanic Community, $3,000. Hammond Hurricanes, $5,000. Hammond Mohawks Athletic and Conservation Club, $3,000. Hammond Morton High School Football Program, $4,000. Hammond Optimist Youth Sports, $5,000. Hammond Redhawks Youth Football and Cheer, $5,000. Haven House, $10,000. Hessville Community and Commerce, HC3, $15,000. Hessville Little League, $5,000. Hope Center of NWI, $5,000. Intermission, $5,000. J.E. Wade Ministries, Inc., $5,000. Lake County Fire Chiefs Association, $5,000. Lakeshore Cal Ripken Babe Ruth, $5,000. Mental Health America of Northwest Indiana, Inc., $10,000. Montessori Children's Schoolhouse, $5,000. Morton High School Boys Golf, $5,000. New Hope Baptist Church Community College Day, $2,000. New Hope 2 Community Center, $5,000. NWI Rugby Club, $5,000. NWI Symphony Society, $5,000. Optimist Club of Hammond, $5,000. Prom Genie, $10,000. Pulaski Park Neighborhood Association, $15,000. Region Renegades, $5,000. Rotary Club of Hammond, $3,000. St. Casimir School, $5,000. St. John African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, $5,000. School City of Hammond Robotics, $30,000. School City of Hammond Secondary Applied Skills Vocational Internships and Community Program, $500. Society of St. Vincent de Paul, $1,000. South Shore Arts, Inc., $5,000. St. John Bosco School, $5,000. St. Mary Byzantine Church, $5,000. The Gatehouse Hammond, $5,000. Toll Performing Arts Company, $20,000. Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, $2,000. United Citizens Association, Inc., $7,000. We Care from the Heart Social Services, $5,000. Whiting Hammond Knights of Columbus, $5,000. Whiting Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce, $10,000. Whiting Robertsdale Historical Society, $2,500. World's Fastest Triathlon, Leon's Triathlon, $10,000. And Department of Defense Honor Guard, $5,000. Do we have a motion? So moved. So
Second.
moved by Tom Dabberton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Katrina Alexander. With that, we will do a roll call vote.
Alexander,
Yes.
Zulno,
Yes.
Dapperton,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Flores, Miller,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Zaney, Vines,
Yes.
Talon.
Yes, 9 approved, 2 absent. The motion passes. Congratulations to all the organizations that submitted applications to our commission. On behalf of our commission, we want to thank you for all the programs and services that you are providing for Hammond residents and for the city of Hammond. We truly appreciate everything we're doing. We obviously talk about wishing to have more money to accommodate all the requests that we get. But again, we thank you for what you're doing. I want to thank all of the members that have participated in all the different meetings that we've had. It went very well as far as working together and coming in agreement on a lot of the different organizations. There was a lot of conversation back and forth, and we all worked very well together to try and accommodate everybody's opinions and wants. So thank you. And with that, we can do a motion. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Second. Roll call vote.
Alexander,
Yes.
Zulno,
Yes.
Dapperton,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Flores, Miller,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Zaney, Vines,
Yes.
Talon.
Yes. 9 approved, 2 absent. Meeting is adjourned.